Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live here in All in One Real Estate. I'm Lucy Ferrer from the Roy Group at Keller Williams Hometown. And this is a community to be keeping everybody informed about different topic of real estate. This is very important for real estate agents or buyer, seller, anybody in the real estate industry. Today, we are going to have people from PV and Drains. They are expert doing sewer scope. And as a real estate professional, we know how important it is to keep informed the buyers and everybody in the transaction. So I'm gonna welcome Ted and Lizzie from PV and Drains. How are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for coming and being able to give all the information to the people. Tell me a little bit about yourself, how you start in this business.
Yeah, I think it was inevitable that we were going to be doing this work. So I grew up in the sewer business. It's a family biz, and Ted came to work with us. We met when we were teenagers, and Ted came to work with us at the company, and so we've been around this type of work since we were kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so we decided we were ready to kind of start doing our own thing. So we started our own plumbing company, and then we don't do any plumbing.
Oh, so you started as a plumbing company. And
we did. Yeah.
Scope.
Yep. And we kind of shifted gears and started focusing on sewer inspections, especially for real estate transactions. And so it's just kind of grown from there. And now it's all we do.
That's good. And where are you from? Here in Wichita?
I'm from Wichita.
I'm moved around a bit growing up. I'm from Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, Iowa.
And then Colorado. Yeah. So Colorado for the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you claim Colorado.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about what is a sewer scope? What that means. What do you do?
Absolutely. So the whole purpose of a sewer inspection is to access the line most often through the 4-inch clean out that's available. And it's always our goal to push that camera all the way to the city's main.
Correct.
Yeah. We are looking for things like the overall function of the line, the structure of the line, and the accessibility of the line. So we're assessing all of those as either acceptable, minor, moderate, or significant in nature. And then we give an overall assessment of the line itself and detail any recommendations that we have, as well as, anything that we spot as far as, being able to maintain the line, even if it's got some imperfections.
Okay. So which one are the most common issues that you find in those sewer scopes?
Depending of the pipe material, offsets and bellies, and root intrusion.
Roots, yeah. I'd say 9 times out of 10, if there's a problem, it's going to be root related.
Root related, I know. And people love the shade and a lot of trees, but a lot of issues in the sewer line.
And the trees love the sewers, yes.
And tell me a little bit about the equipment that you use to do those sewer scopes.
Oh, we have many different kinds of cameras. We have small cameras, medium size, large cameras, and we use them. Each one has a different purpose, depending of what scenario we have to come up against.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, there are different access points. Sometimes our clean out isn't available, and sometimes we have to find an alternate route. And so that means we've got to use a different kind of camera. When we're doing our pre-work, we're looking at things like line length. So we know if we need to bring along one of the big dogs, that's going to be able to get us all the way out to the city's main. That's going to be one of our larger cameras that has more cable length to it. So we've got a lot of them. And it's a good thing because, at any given time, we might have one that's not going to work. And so we've always got backups. There's never going to be a time where we don't have a camera available. We got 3 on each truck, and I don't know how many in our garage. Lots.
Wow. Okay. So that's how it's easier for you to find those, because you have different type of camera.
Yeah.
Home inspector, sometimes they have their own, but they have just one.
Right.
Typically, yeah. Usually they'll just have one or two. I know there's one who maybe has three, but yeah, we carry a lot of different kinds, so we're really adaptable. And we know all the little tricks to get through spots that don't necessarily want to let us move. We can kind of try different things to progress and get down the line.
And having the plumbing background, we know what we can and can't do with
that helps.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you will find them.
Yeah.
And about the clean out, what is usually the location that most of the time is at?
It's either going to, it'll be in either a basement, if there is a basement, in the utility room usually.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they put them in odd spots, like in closets.
Yeah. I found one in a garage once. That was interesting.
If it's a crawl space, usually you're going to have your access outside someplace.
Mm-hmm.
Or a slab house, so it'll be an exterior clean out.
Yeah. The foundation is kind of going to tell us. That'll be our first clue of where we need to be looking to track down the clean out, and then the age of the house will tell us a lot about where it ought to be. And honestly, some just don't have them because of the age of the house and when it was built and the requirements at the time. Sometimes there is no clean out, and that's when we got to get creative.
Oh, wow. What is the most creative that you have to be about that one time?
Probably floor drains. Floor drains are where we've got to try and figure out, like, can we get this floor drain open? Is it rusted shut? Can we scooch through there? And it takes a little tricky maneuvering to get the camera to go the right way, and want to head down through those floor drains. That's always I feel like a magic act to get that thing threaded correctly.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, what are some of the maintenance that you recommend people so they can keep the sewer lines?
So I think it depends on the material. So what the sewer's made of will tell you what you need to be doing to take care of it. If it's a plastic line, I would say good flushing practices and, good use of the water. So you want to avoid non-flushable materials, no starches, no fats, no flushable wipes. There's no such thing as a flushable wipe. I don't care what the package says. That's a lie.
Really?
No, don't flush wipes. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. I promise. It's not a real thing.
Tell me that.
Yeah. So, and you don't want to dump a lot of food in your garbage disposal, that kind of thing. So avoiding those kinds of things. And then when you're using your water, look for ways to double up when you're using water. So if you're running your dishwasher, go ahead and run the clothes washer while you're at it. If you're getting ready to hop in the shower, flush the toilet one time before you get in. So you've got an extra push of water. And that will help if you've got things that have kind of accumulated in low spots. That big rush of water will push it off. So that's a good method for plastic. If you've got a clay tile line, you got to stay on top of it with yearly cleanings. Clay tile requires routine maintenance, as does cast iron. These are ones that you need to be after them at least once a year to get a cleaning done. And we recommend routine inspection on those to see how they're doing, because they can become unstable over time. And so you want to monitor what's going on with it. So you have a plan. If it is going to need something in the future, you want to find that out 3 to 5 years ahead of time, not the day before it needs to be done.
Oh, okay. So in those ones, you need to clean out every year.
Every year. And we always say a good rule of thumb with clay tile is when the pumpkin spice latte rolls out, that's when you need to get it on the calendar to get your preventative cleaning done, because the emergency backups are way more expensive. And you don't have a lot of options, because during the fall, that is the busiest time of year for plumbers. The number one plumbing call is going to be emergency backups on sewer lines. And so everybody's busy. You're limited as to who's going to be available, and you got to pay whatever they're charging. And that could be upwards of $650 to get an emergency cleaning. So if you stay ahead of it,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you stay ahead of it and get a preventative cleaning, you get to choose who you're working with. You get to, you're going to know upfront what the cost is going to be, and you're going to get ahead of it before you have an emergency, which is, expensive and messy. So it's the best time of year is in the fall. That's when the trees are going dormant. The root systems are shooting down into the ground, and those roots are going to be thick enough that a cleaning machine can get hold of them and yank them out of the line.
Oh my God, you're going to be scared. I think I need to clean my sewer line.
I don't know how old's your house.
Oh, my house, I think, is in the 95.
Yeah, you should be okay.
Yeah, and it has been 2 years, and we haven't cleaned the sewer line.
Well, maybe we should take a look at it for you.
So, what age is when usually start to be like plastic plumbing?
Yeah, you want to take that one? You know the dates, but you're such a nerd for all the materials.
Yeah,
Well,
so I kind of know that.
Basically, the plastic piping started in Wichita in 1980 when we started with the SDR 35, which is the blue-green colored pipe material. And then approximately about 1985, the ABS black plastic pipe came about, and then the ABS, it's the black plastic, came out about 1985, and then in 1990, roughly, is when the PVC started up.
Yeah,
and
that's the white plastic.
Yeah,
that's
what we still continue to use.
Yeah. The early to mid 90s version of PVC though is kind of a thinner, lighter PVC. And so when we do take a look at those 90s era houses, we're kind of keeping an eye out on that plastic because it can be a little more brittle, a little more prone to cracking and breaking. And so we kind of keep an eye out on those. And I look very carefully at joints and seams and turns to make sure that everything looks as it should on those. Because we will see those where they're a little bit wrecked sometimes.
And what about the Orangeburg? I have get those like in my last 2 inspections.
Yeah, don't get me started on Orangeburg. So Orangeburg material, this was used in the 50s. So if you've got a mid-century modern, heads up. So Orangeburg is essentially tree fiber. It is organic fiber infused with tar pitch. And it's really solid and hard when it is still in one piece. But what happens with Orangeburg is that it's, if you ever watch Great British Baking Show, you know what delamination is, or lamination. So you have the layers of your pastry and butter, and it fluffs up like this, Same thing with Orangeburg. It fluffs up, and you have a process called delamination where it starts to be infused with water, and it gets all kinds of lumpy, bumpy business going on in it. Lots of cracks, lots of breaks, holes. It gets compressed, crushed, and it can have the integrity of wet paper towels. When you go in to clean it with a cleaning machine, it can absolutely shred it, or it can break the machine. It can go the other way and break the cleaning machine because some spots are still really, really hard, but they're misshapen. And so Orangeburg is one of the very few materials that if we see it, we say it's got to go on site. We're not even going to bother discussing anything else about it. All the other defects are kind of irrelevant. It's Orangeburg, it has to go. So just the worst stuff.
That's what happened to my clients.
Yeah, it's awful. It's the worst. So yeah, we're very watchful, especially in the 50s era houses. We go in with our heads on swivel when we check those ones out, because we're looking for kind of those telltale signs that it might be there before we even find an access.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a no.
Yeah. I'm sure it was a great idea at the time.
Yeah. And tell me about how much is the cost for those sewer scope?
Inside the Wichita area, it's $150.
Yeah, it's nothing compared to all the money they save.
Exactly. Yeah. When we're talking about sewers, we're talking it starts in the thousands and just goes up. So.
Yeah. The last ones they have do a quote, it has been 6,000 or more. Yeah, the ones that.
Oh well, actually, that's not too bad compared to what some of the ones we've heard lately. So.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, you'd be shocked.
That's crazy. How far do you go to do?
So I mean, we've got some pretty good distance on a couple of our cameras. We can get out well over 100 feet. And most lines in the Wichita area are going to be 100 feet or less. But yeah, we can get out there. That's no problem.
Oh, okay.
I think the longest one we've seen what was the longest one we've ever seen? It's like 300 and some, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, I think it was upward of 4.
Oh, was it near 4? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 400-ish feet. So
it was a big house.
no, just a lot of land.
The size of the house or the land? Yeah, the size
It's
of
the land. Yeah, it was a lot of land.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that'll do it. Yeah.
And you still charge the same if they are the
Yeah. The length is kind of irrelevant. I feel like if we've got a good access point, and we can keep pushing that camera, we'll keep pushing the camera. It's fine.
Oh.
We get a little tired, but it's okay.
I was gonna say it might take a longer time.
I mean, we don't have to go to the gym, because we
just getting those
have been shooting cameras all day and lifting big heavy cameras.
Yeah, well, they are heavy.
Some of them are, yeah. I've got my biggest one's about 60 pounds, and your biggest one's what?
75.
Yeah, it's about 75, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are heavy.
Yeah. His has wheels, mine doesn't.
Right.
But sometimes you just go together and you go different times and different.
Yeah. Sometimes we ride together whenever we can. We do like to be able to just hang out together during the day. But when the schedule's busy, we will split up and split the work up so that we get everything done and make sure everybody gets taken care of.
That's good. And tell me any story about that anytime you were able to, to help a homeowner to save some money or.
Absolutely. So you want to take that one? Or you want me to jump in? So we've had lots of opportunities to reveal things that folks didn't necessarily know about. There's a lot of situations where there are as-is sales going on. So folks will go in with no property disclosure and no idea of what they're really getting into. And we've been able to, inspect those lines and tell them, hey, actually, this one's got several defects. It's going to need to be replaced, and get them pointed in the right direction for bids on that kind of work so that they know what they're getting into. And there's been plenty of times when we've, had people ask us, hey, can you review this inspection that was done by somebody else and tell us what you think. And we've been able to tell them that, no, actually, this giant repair that they've requested that is very costly isn't necessary. And in reality, this is a really minor and manageable issue that can be taken care of with good maintenance, good flushing practices. You don't need to dig up the yard to take care of this. So I think we've been, I think we've kind of earned the trust that folks have in us by being able to do that, because we take ourselves, out of the equation, and we take ourselves seriously in our work. We don't take ourselves seriously in any other regard, but but when it comes to the work, we're serious.
So you don't do any plumbing work, like any estimates? So usually, but do you have any plumbers that you recommend? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we don't do any of the repair or replacement work. But if we know that there's a repair that's needing to be done, we really try and think of terms like who's going to be the best fit to do this job. And so we try and point folks in the direction of at least 2 or 3 names so that they can compare bids and have a good plan going forward with what they want to do with that line. So we definitely have good folks that we trust that work with us, and we work with them to help them out when they are trying to, because sometimes we're helping plumbers do inspections. Sometimes they need us to come out and help them and do a locate on a line or help them find something. And so we know that they're going to do a good job and take care of people the same way we would. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. I don't know if it's anything else you want to add.
Do you want to hear the turtle story? So this is the funniest thing we ever found in a line. So we find foreign objects in lines all the time. We've seen beer bottles. We have seen clothing. We have seen toothbrushes, a light bulb. One time we saw a light bulb. We've seen lizards. We've seen frogs. We've seen every kind of insect and bug that you can think of, slug farms, all of those things. But I was complaining to Ted one night that he's never brought me home a video with a turtle in it. We've seen lizards and frogs, but I haven't seen a turtle yet. And literally the next day.
Oh, there you go. You got your
It was literally the next day. He was inspecting a line. It was on a lagoon, and there was a turtle in there. And that was, he pushed it out with the camera. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And he got out. He's fine. But a turtle, it can happen. It can and that's, a lagoon is really kind of the only place that could happen. But
happen. Yeah.
Yep. That was a fun surprise because he didn't tell me before we started watching the video that's what was happening.
Oh, so. Well, he knew it. He just wanted.
He knew. He spent an extra hour out there trying to like wrangle this turtle and get it out of the line. So yeah, he knew full well that there was a turtle there.
Yeah.
You set me up. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, and we get weird things in the line sometimes, and sometimes we're sitting there kind of scratching our heads, wondering what the heck is that? What is that thing? So,
oh my god,
yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I don't know if anybody. I haven't seen any question. I was hoping that people were gonna give any question if they have any. I don't see any, but here I'm gonna have. Let me add your phone number here so people can have your phone number if they need an inspection or if they have any question about that. Definitely, I always recommend that because I have having so many people that have sewer issues. So
yeah. Well, and I would say there's no litmus test or no like benchmark for houses that must be inspected for a sewer. If it has a sewer, it needs to be inspected.
Yeah.
Even on brand new construction, because new installation is not always competent installation. Mm-hmm. And so we've seen plenty of times that there have been mistakes made with installation on brand new houses. Wow. And thankfully, those are situations where the builder, these things are still under warranty. And so it can be made right really, really quickly, as opposed to waiting for it to fail and find out that there was a problem. They know right off the jump. We do a lot of new construction inspections, actually, because of that very reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I'm glad you told me because I have just a buyer consultation not long ago with one of my buyers, and he want to build a new home. And I said, well, it's a new home. I'm not sure if you need a sewer scope, but now I know. So
yeah.
Recommend it. So they just install it the wrong way. It's not installed right, and then
it can come down to a lot of issues. I mean, you would know.
Yeah, I mean it's they sometimes they're overdug, and then you have a soft point where when other trucks run over the top of it, they just smash it down. Mm-hmm. I've seen them sheared off at the house.
Yeah.
And they've been pushed down into the city's main where they shouldn't be.
We've seen a bucket claw scoop right into the top of one of them where they nicked it with the backhoe bucket. We've seen them compressed so that they're kind of cracked on the sides, kind of like squashed down. So we see a lot of things that happen during installation that, it's just a matter of, they're moving quickly. They're trying to get them done. They're trying to get 2 or 3 of those done in a matter of a couple of days. And so moving that quickly means that mistakes can happen. And this is usually before the yard's even graded too. So you still got a lot of heavy equipment that's going to come through and drive over those areas. And so it can definitely create issues.
Yeah. Now, the biggest thing is that any and all of the sewers are out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. There's only one way to find out what kind of condition it's in.
Yep.
And that's to have it scoped.
Yep. You can't know until you look, because the problems can definitely be hiding. If you've got a break in the line, it's possible that it's going to keep flowing. It's just going to keep flowing into the ground and creating a void. And, you're going to have issues later on, but it'll be long after you've had all this stuff seeping into the ground for goodness knows how long. So that's why it's super important. Even if that property disclosure that you have during the transaction says, they've never had any sewer problems. Okay. That they know of.
Uh-huh. Wow. So I'm glad that you told me that. So now I know I have to recommend to my new construction people to that.
Yeah. It's definitely worth it. And for the peace of mind to know that, yes, it was done right. Because once those mistakes are discovered in one of those houses in a division, the superintendent who's working on those divisions is gonna jump on that with their subcontractors and make sure that they're doing it right for the rest of them. So it's a good thing to get ahead of it whenever possible.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much for answering any concern about sewer scope, and thank you so much. I guess we don't have any. Let me see if we have any question. No questions so far. So if you want to reach them for a sewer scope, there is a phone number 316-636-7778.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.